If everything in this world is energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can never really disappear. It can only change its form. Understanding this fundamental principle can shift your perspective on life. And if you haven't been looking at the world around you as energy, I invite you to start exploring this concept today because it has the potential to transform your life. Give it a try and observe how this idea enhances your understanding of yourself, your experiences, and the whole world around you. Hi, my dear listener. I just crawled back from the rabbit hole of the last solar eclipse. Is everyone alive? Did we survive the corridor of eclipses? Its energy is still here until mid-April, but it's slowly fading away. The hardest part is over. How are we doing? I feel like I lived through 1,000 timelines since the last time I spoke with you. Do you notice how different this year is, energy-wise? The speed of events and processes unfolding is crazy. Did we sign up for Universal Formula One? My astrologer was telling me that April will be insanely active and fast and eventful, so buckle up, people. We are going somewhere. And in order to stay grounded, we need to balance things out. So today I want to talk about balancing masculine and feminine energies within. First of all, what is energy? Everything around you is energy. You are energy. Your relationships are energy. Nature is energy. All the situations taking place in your life are energy. Money is energy. This concept extends endlessly because energy is infinite. Energy moves freely, and nature is a great example of that. Think of a river flowing or the wind blowing through the trees. You are a part of nature, so you do have the right to flow effortlessly. But you're also a human being. So what sets you apart from the river or the wind? Consciousness. You have a conscious ability to navigate energy towards the desired outcome. In other words, world is full of limitless opportunities, and you have the ability to decide how you want to experience this life, how exactly you want to live it. Manifesting anything that you want really comes down to three things: aligning your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Sounds very simple because it is, but it might be challenging to get to that state of mind where you're no longer controlled by external noise and other people's opinions and your fears, and you're so clear and aligned with yourself that it just happens naturally. You might not be there yet, but please write down this formula. Combining the power of your thoughts, feelings, and actions will bring your manifestation to life. And one of the essential steps on this journey is to balance out the energy within you. In order to do that, you need to understand the duality of energy. From ancient times, energy has been split into two categories: feminine and masculine. You may have heard the terms Yin Yang. You may have seen the symbols of it, but what does it really mean? Masculine energy is the energy of the mind. It is very logical and practical. It's about taking action, pursuing goals. Every challenge is faced with analytical approach to find the best solutions. About knowing where you're going, knowing how to get there, and knowing how to make it efficient. It's also about clear communication. It's about setting boundaries with the rest of the world. If you would ask me to draw the way I see masculine energy on paper, I would draw a straight, sharp line because that's how confident this energy is. On the other hand, feminine energy is the energy of the heart. Unlike masculine that focuses on taking action and getting shit done, feminine energy is more about surrendering, receiving, and allowing things to come to you. Did you notice even my voice changed when I switched from talking about masculine to feminine energy? Feminine energy is about intuition and compassion and nurturing relationships. It's about embracing your creativity, your sensuality. And if you would ask me to draw it on a piece of paper, I would draw ocean waves. Because that's how that energy moves. To make it super simplified for you to understand, think of a masculine energy as the mind and feminine energy as the heart. And as we know, throughout our lives, that's the biggest battle that many people are having inside. The mind is telling one thing, but the heart wants something else. The intuition is saying, hey, there is something wrong with it, but the mind says, no, we're gonna do it because we agreed to it. I guarantee it sounds familiar to many of you. This inner battle between the mind and the heart that happens so often. And the idea here is to find the perfect balance that works for you. To understand which situations in life require your dominant presence of a masculine energy and which situations call for your feminine energy to be in charge. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us, regardless of our gender or sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with it. It's more about your mind and heart, about those qualities of you that are more dominant in certain situations. You're not going to enjoy going to the swimming pool with your skis on, and you're not going to enjoy laying on your beach blanket on the top of a snowy mountain. Same with masculine and feminine energy. Let's explore some of the examples of how you might express your masculine or feminine energies in your daily life. Your masculine energy is dominant when you're building your career, making money, leading projects, working out at the gym, heavy weights, repeated pattern, managing your daily schedule, organizing your time, prioritizing tasks that you need to accomplish, speaking up, and expressing what's on your mind, being very clear and direct in your communication, and also boundaries with people. Very clear definition of what's acceptable and what's not. Starting to make sense? Fabulous. Your feminine energy is dominant when you are nurturing your relationships, any relationships, romantic, friendships, when you're listening to your friend in need, when you're building those meaningful connections, listening to your intuition, trusting that gut feeling when you're making decisions, especially in very uncertain situations. Receiving, when you are open to receive help without needing to pay back. Practicing mindfulness, any spiritual practice, yoga, dance, meditation, anything that promotes inner peace and self-reflection is also feminine energy. And your creativity, expressing yourself through arts, painting, writing, crafting. Of course, both energies are present in all of those situations, but one of them steps forward to take the lead while another one steps back to rest and observe. To simplify it even more, in my opinion, you need a balanced masculine energy for a successful career and stable life, and you need a balanced feminine energy for building, nurturing relationships. And that applies to both women and men. Throughout my life, I've met many individuals who embodied the different polarities of masculine and feminine energy combinations. I met women who were so deeply in their masculine, achieving great financial results and stability, but completely lacking the ability to build nurturing relationships. Because in a relationship with men, they continue to act like a man, act from their masculine energy, to compete with a man, to try to prove to the man that she is as good as him in her career and the money that she's making. And on the other hand, I've met women that were so deeply in their feminine that they lacked ability to bring any of their brilliant ideas to life. These women had great creative projects they wanted to act on, but they couldn't because there was no strength from the masculine energy. I've been on both ends of this energy spectrum myself. When I was 24, I married into a codependent relationship, which put me deep in my feminine, but it was not empowered feminine. It was wounded feminine with childhood traumas combined, which is another level of madness. That brought me to a significant lack of self-worth. I had zero motivation and no strength to act on my big dreams. After the divorce, I switched to the other side of the energy spectrum, tapping so hard into my masculine, growing my career, achieving financial stability and success. But I closed my heart completely, and I was not allowing myself to be cared for by another human being. I became so driven that I didn't allow myself to receive anything without having to work hard for it. This mindset was blocking me from attracting abundance and the right opportunities and emotional fulfillment. And my journey of leveling up was harsh and challenging. But now I understand that it didn't have to be that way, and there is another way for growth. Instead of hitting the brick wall with a hammer, you can step back and look at the bigger picture. Maybe there is a door somewhere. There is always a path of less resistance. There is always the flow. And that's what feminine energy is teaching us. Going with the flow, like water, finding its way through. Don't get me wrong, if any of the scenarios that I mentioned above resonate with you and you feel completely happy, that's your right. We all have free will to choose how we live our lives. If you're a woman that doesn't want any career or any self-expression and your man is supporting this lifestyle and you're completely fulfilled, that's great. I'm happy for you. You don't need to be watching this podcast. And same for women that are completely satisfied with their masculine approach to life and truly feel happy with it. That's a possibility too. But the audience that I'm gathering here is the women that want to tap into their full potential, both in their self-expression, their careers, and their relationships. If you are seeking true freedom and fulfillment, then you're in the right place, and I'm happy that we found each other. If you're still with me, welcome to this collective of badass women who are ready to unlock their inner power. Understand that you cannot manifest anything from the lack mindset. When you feel like you're missing something, you're sending the signal to the universe that you don't have it. And instead of giving it to you, you will continue receiving a confirmation of the fact that you don't have it. So shift your perspective to something that you have instead. If you're a woman who wants to reach your highest potential, there is something that you need to know first. It may trigger many women because it can be difficult to digest, but I don't give a fuck. It is your responsibility to create a basic stability for yourself to be able to function independently. No one will come along and provide it in a healthy way until you do that for yourself. Because once you do that for yourself, you will be standing in a completely different energy, in a completely different confidence to choose what is acceptable and what's not. Your independence is your power. So why are you giving your power away? If we talk about relationships, the worst thing you can do is to search for a relationship because you cannot exist in health and happiness by yourself. So you need someone to provide that for you. And then you're ready to jump into any relationship that will cover those needs. So you can totally ignore all the red flags that will turn into your pain. You're an adult and it's time to take responsibility for your life. You want a happy, healthy relationship? Become independent first. So you feel confident to say things that are on your mind without the fear of losing your stability. Achieving a level of independence where you feel safe and at ease would be different for everyone based on your preferences and what's comfortable for you. But that will cover the safety and stability, having a place to live, having food, being safe, being secure about tomorrow. And then from that place, your feminine energy can choose a partner. Think of it as building a house. Once you build a solid foundation with the help of your masculine energy, you can let your feminine energy relax and explore and get creative to continue designing the house with as many bedrooms and balconies and floors as you want. But that creativity cannot come to life unless your basic needs are met. So in order to get there, you need to build that foundation using your masculine energy. If you're living in fear about tomorrow, about how you're going to pay rent, about what you're going to eat, we cannot even have a conversation about your feminine energy because your feminine is terrified. The feminine needs to feel safe in order to open up and truly become magical. And it's your responsibility to give it to yourself. Don't place that on your partner because you would be giving your power away. It will create dependency that will take away your inner freedom. And I don't think you want that. And as a badass goddess that you are, you absolutely don't want that. I want to share my personal experience of balancing out masculine and feminine within, because for a long time I've been really masculine. And sitting with plant medicine really helped me see that and learn the lesson and understand that I was born a woman in this life. So there is no need to act like a man all the time. When I was moving from LA to Miami, I faced an issue with shipping my belongings. There was no furniture because I sold all of it, but there was my stuff that I put in boxes and organized boxes on a pallet that was supposed to be shipped as a freight. And for whatever reason, the driver did not pick up. It just didn't happen. It didn't happen one day, it didn't happen the second day, it didn't happen the third day. And at this point, the freight was standing in a public loading deck of my building with no security where any other truck could potentially just take it by accident. And I was stressing out. I was calling the shipping company like 20 times a day, but nothing was happening. Like we were not getting closer to resolving the situation. And I got to a point where I had to fly to Miami and my pallet was still there. No one picked it up. It was terrifying to leave all my belongings. But here's what I told myself. Sasha, is universe abundant? Yes, it is. Are you an abundant human being? Yes, I am. The universe will never take away from you. The energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can only be transformed. So if universe chooses to take that away from you, that would only mean that it will provide something better, upgrade, right? In that created space. So if I lose all those boxes and all my belongings, I will be rewarded in some sort of way. There will be a situation in my near future that will give me more than I lost. And that was the mindset that I used for this specific situation when I was flying to Miami. I told myself, okay, you lose everything. You go to a beautiful bar in Miami. You get a drink and you sit there and cry. And all of a sudden, a millionaire would walk by and say, oh my goodness, why is such a beautiful goddess crying? And I would say, here's what happened. Because of the shipping company, I lost everything. And he would answer, oh my dear, please wipe your tears. Here's $300,000 for you to get everything new. But please don't cry. Because those beautiful eyes are supposed to be smiling. That's what I told myself. And I said, okay, I like that. And guess what? Only when I released control, surrendered and relaxed and focused on something else, the situation got resolved without my intervention. The agent switched the shipping company, FedEx stepped in and picked up my pallet and delivered it to me faster. At no extra cost. Plant medicine really helped me feel the difference between feminine and masculine energies. Actually, a week after that shipping situation, I was at the ayahuasca retreat and I had that challenging night when I was fighting with myself, when my mind and my heart were fighting with each other all night. And what ayahuasca showed me and what ayahuasca helped me feel was quite extraordinary. First, I was presented with this beautiful, smooth, juicy energy. It had lavender color, almost like my dress. And I call this color divine feminine color. That's how I personally see it. And that energy was so abundant and it felt so cozy and so satisfying to be surrounded by it, to be in it. And I realized that that energy holds everything that I want in life. Because this is my birthright, because I was born a woman in this life. And it's easy. And then I was presented second energy, which was dark green. It was no longer a juicy flow. The energy was kind of transformed into metallic grid, like a fence outside, where each box was my action or thought or attempt to assemble this puzzle of my perfect life, controlling every single detail, thinking that I know the best, not allowing step left or right, having tunnel vision. So I realized that that was masculine energy, but that was not even a powerful masculine energy. It was pathetic. It felt like I'm drowning, clapping on the water. And when I saw it and I felt it, I started crying because I realized what I've been doing to myself and to my energy, and the abundance that I was craving was not coming my way because of my own actions and the way I was managing my own energy, where all I needed was to release control and relax and not go against the flow and not to hit my head on the wall. Find a way around it. Find a damn door. That ceremony really helped me balance my feminine and masculine and understand what it feels like to be truly in your feminine energy. I still use my masculine energy a lot because I'm ambitious. But majority of my time, I love being in feminine energy. Because once you taste it, you won't want to go back. To wrap up this episode, I want to give you a little cheat sheet on how to be in your feminine energy when you're going on a date. The feminine energy lets the man know when she's available, but she doesn't choose the restaurant. She doesn't spend her time making a reservation. She lets man be the man and take care of it. The feminine energy appreciates the offer of providing transportation for her to get to the date and back, which could be a man picking you up or it can be sending an Uber. She's not taking the lead in the conversation. She's not there to provide entertainment. She's there to observe and respond and let the man present himself. She's not rushing in to open the door of the car or the door of the restaurant. She's totally okay waiting there for a few moments for him to understand what he needs to do. She's not bothered by that. She expresses what she wants. She's also absolutely fine leaving at any moment if she doesn't feel safe or comfortable. Sorry, not sorry, but feminine energy doesn't do 50-50 on a date. It's the man's honor to cover the bill. She observes him and evaluates his behavior and if his actions are matching his words. She trusts her intuition. Because there might be cases when the person is saying one thing, but your intuition is telling you liar. So she trusts herself on that. And she doesn't doubt herself. Because she knows her worth. She has high standards and healthy self-esteem. How do you like this date? Would you want to go on this date? And this is just one example of how you can tap into your feminine energy. I'm wondering how many of you think that they've been living mainly from masculine versus feminine energy. I would love to know. Share some examples, share some stories, share some insights that you might have received about yourself while watching this episode. I would love to hear your stories. And don't forget to like, subscribe, show me love so I keep going and reaching a wider audience. Thank you so much for your support. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, evening, or night, depending on when you're watching or listening to it. And I'll see you next time.